Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life and your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to where it is that you truly want to be. Today I want to talk to you about when was the last time you reviewed your landscape. I'm talking about the landscape of your career, your business, what it is that you're seeking to achieve, where you're spending most of your time each day. When was the last time you reviewed the landscape? Because many of us get into business, we do what we do really well, and we do it for years and years and years, and we kind of get into this rut where we're successful, we are in accordance with our definition of what is success, and we keep doing the same things over and over. Maybe we are innovating a little bit, but are we really taking true advantage? Are we really taking a step back? Maybe standing on top of a hill, if you like, looking down and saying, let's have a detailed look at our overall landscape that we're working in right now, because maybe I could be doing it differently. A great example of this, I believe, is in the health and fitness industry. If you look at when I first started working out myself, it was 1988. Now, do you think that there has been one or two things that have changed since 1988 in the health and fitness industry? Absolutely. The main things that I've noticed is the fitness facilities used to be owned and run by the same person. There weren't really very big ones around. There was the YMCAs was probably a global thing that existed. You didn't really have these big gyms. The YMCA would have a range of different equipment. Really only those serious athletes would go there. It wasn't like your everyday type people. It was either sports people or serious, bodybuilders, weightlifters, that kind of stuff. It just wasn't as mainstream as it is right now. What do we have that's changed? We've also had a series of infomercials with those, they started here in Australia with the Ab Curl Pro was the first one that I ever saw. You lay it on the ground, you put your head in it, you put your hands up and grab this bar and sort of curled forward. They sold millions of those things. And that was kind of the innovation of the first lot of health and fitness products to be sold to the general public. And now, look, they're still, after 33 years, they're still selling all kinds of different things on the commercial TVs. But that really took off, and it started to get people thinking more and more about their health and wellness. Now, if we think, say, 20, 30 years down the track, what's happened? Well, we've gotten busier, certainly in our country here in Melbourne. Property prices are really expensive. So that means that normally both people had to work. It means that people are more time poor. It means that they don't have as much, say, leisure time to be spending on looking after themselves. So they're looking for quicker, faster, easier ways to be able to, deal with those issues in obesity and just stay in shape. So we've then had this whole 24/7 concept of gyms. I remember, even 10 years ago when I first started in doing what I do now in my business full time, there were no 24/7 gyms in Australia. They just didn't exist. But now look at it. They're everywhere. It's like if your gym isn't a 24/7 facility, then you're missing out to a competitor. And the concept of them being unstaffed and how do you get around all that, and introducing all the technology and the security surveillance and all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't always work, because we've had people die here in Australia in 24/7 gyms because they've been trapped under a bar and they've crushed themselves to death. So it doesn't always work. But that's a big change in what's happened in the industry. Didn't exist, 13 years ago. Just didn't exist. Now, if you don't have it, you're really missing out. Now, I don't have a 24/7 facility because I'm not set up to work with people that way. Mine's more boutique, it's appointment only, you have to work with a coach. So that's one of the things that I've seen also change. Another area is if you look in the area of nutrition. If you went back to 1988, you could get the odd TV dinner in the supermarket. They tasted terrible, but you might be able to get a roast TV dinner. Now, my goodness, I could be here for 5 minutes listing off all the different options that are available here in Australia for those pre-prepared meals. Mate, personally, I use one that's called Muscle Chef. It seriously is like having my own chef. The food is amazing, it's high protein, it's clean, it really suits my lifestyle, and it eases my workload up a whole heap. So that space has just gone hugely crazy. Multi-billion-dollar industry. Another area in the area of food has been the things like your Uber Eats. Now, often people are using those for what? Not healthy alternatives, they're normally for the unhealthy alternatives. But there are so many different options now to have your food delivered. Back in 1988, I think maybe you could get a pizza delivered, I don't even know, but you couldn't get anything else delivered. But now look at it, there's food options everywhere. So we are surrounded by all these different changes that have taken place. But if I look at some other areas, so I used to be an accountant, I do not see that the accounting profession has greatly changed the service that they provide. And maybe if I had some of my accounting clients in the room, they'd say, oh no, well we do this on this software now, the turnaround time is quicker, it's electronic, etc., etc. But yeah, to me, that's just window dressing. I'm talking about how do you dramatically change what it is that you do and the experience that you provide. And that's what I want you to think about today. So I want you to think about 4 different things when it comes to reviewing your landscape. And the first one is about the customer experience. And think about the customer experience that your customers or clients are getting at the moment. And is that the best experience that they can be getting? Because we've become complacent, I believe, with the service that we provide. I think that there's always scope to do things better. But you're only going to do better if your mind is in the space of how do I provide a better service? I think about some of the things that I used to provide to my clients that I don't provide anymore. And sometimes I reflect and I think, maybe I should be providing that now. It's just a better quality of service. One of those examples is a client birthday campaign or an inactive client campaign. If clients have birthdays, I generally buy them a special gift. I get to know them and I'll buy them something that is unique for them. Now, to be honest, it's not something that I've done a lot of during the pandemic. I haven't done any, let's be honest. I haven't done any. When it comes to inactive clients or people that I've just done, they haven't come on as a client, I've just done consultations with them and I've got their birthday details. I previously ran a birthday campaign where they would get a series of birthday messages, just a couple of birthday messages, just wishing them happy birthday. Now, I found that I wasn't picking up any clients from that. I was getting an odd email back from people saying, oh, thanks for your birthday wishes, but that's it. So I probably did that for 5 years, didn't pick up one client from it. And I thought, maybe I'll just stop doing it. Clearly it's not doing anything. Why am I going to continue doing the same thing? But maybe I could have done it differently. One of the shortcomings of the system that I was using, they could produce a birthday card that would be automated from the system, but they could only do it in the US because they weren't affiliated with a printer here, so I couldn't do it here. So I just stopped doing them. And so I reflect from sometimes and I'll hear that a client says, oh, I've got a birthday coming up. I was like, man, how did I miss that? So that's just a small thing. I used to give certain things in welcome packs. Now I don't give those things, I give different things. And I think, is this the best mix of things for people to be giving them in a welcome pack? I give them, it varies from time to time. Because sometimes it's a sports bag, sometimes it's a backpack, sometimes it's a sort of a sling pack type thing, a better quality one. I give them a copy of my book. They get a drink bottle, they get a shirt, they get a detailed printed book which tells them all about what they need to do on their journey through their first 12 weeks. I think they get a pen. Sometimes they get some other little knickknacks and stuff in there as well. And from time to time they get a cap. And from time to time I think, okay, maybe I should just review everything that's going in here to see, is this stuff that people really want? I look at the branding perspective, so the shirts are good, caps, that kind of stuff. But if the customer doesn't want it and you think it's a good idea, then it's not going to work, is it? So I think we've always got to look at the customer experience. Can we be doing it better? And the only way you're going to really know is if you get some feedback from people and say, look, what did you really like about that welcome pack? What did you really like about this? What would be some of the great things that you would say, if I received these things, that would be amazing, like an amazing customer experience for me? Previously, I'd put on, whether it be like a Christmas function or an end of year celebration, I would actually do it at the start of the next year because I found that too many people had busy schedules at Christmas time to engage with me, that it was really no use. So I used to have a client of the year celebration normally in February, and they went off quite well, but due to the pandemic and the past few years, I haven't put them on. I think, actually, maybe that's something I should do. My book launch, for instance, another great opportunity to serve your customers and clients. I couldn't do it because we could only, when my book launched, we were locked down. And so I've been looking for that opportunity to be able to do a book launch, but we can only have still so many people together in a room to celebrate. So it's like, oh man, I could plan it, say a month out because I need a bit of notice, but we could be in lockdown again. So I'm trying to wait until we get a little bit more stability in our region to be able to do that thing. But the whole point here is reviewing the customer experience and stepping into your customer's shoes and saying, okay, well, if I had this experience somewhere else, what would something else that you currently don't do that you could be throwing in to really enhance that experience for people? It's something that I haven't done a detailed review of for probably over 12 months, and I'm overdue to do it. So that's a good one. In doing that, I'm going to move on to the second point, which is about competitors. And sometimes I say competitors and pause because it doesn't necessarily have to be a competitor. It could be another area or it could be another company, another type of service or product that's completely different from yours, where you can pick up some ideas. For instance, it might be something from Disneyland. And I've read a couple of books, one on Disneyland, one to do with the Ritz-Carlton. I've got one waiting for me there, which is on Mercedes-Benz. Pardon me. I read those books because they're written from the customer experience perspective and understanding what does the Ritz-Carlton do to be the best luxury brand hotel in the world? What are some of the things that they do that I can take across to my own business to do that? Disneyland, probably the greatest theme parks in the world. What are some of the things that you can learn from their way of service delivery that you can bring into your business? And you say, well, I don't run a theme park, I don't do this, I don't do that. It doesn't matter. It's like, what are the things in between the rides that they do really well there that help you have a better experience when you are there? And if you look for it, you can find it. but also looking at your competitors and seeing what are they doing. Maybe it means you need to buy some of their services so that you can see. So what are the emails that they send you once you sign up? What is that sequence like? What is the customer buying experience like? Another thing that has changed dramatically in the health and fitness space, the amount of apps that now exist where you don't have to go and join a gym. You can just do it at home. Like you look at the Jillian Michaels app, I think it costs $7 a month, something like that, and you get so much content. So many online programs that exist as well. Are you working in the right space? Are you serving your customers in a way that maybe your competitors are, that you're just missing out on? And because maybe you don't offer one particular thing, you're missing out. I've noticed here in Australia, obviously Uber has had a massive, devastating impact on the taxi industry here. So what did Uber do? They took all the things that are wrong with the taxi service and they said, well, we just won't do that. You know, one of the biggest things when you get into a taxi is just watching that meter go up and up and up and up, and you're stuck at a set of traffic lights and it's still clicking up and up, and it just drives you nuts. Get in an Uber, you know what you're paying before you get in there, you've paid for it, you've got probably a cleaner experience in a car than you do in a taxi. You know, they took a whole range of things to make it just simpler for you. So what I've seen the taxis now doing is marketing themselves as having to wait for a long time. They've got ads on TV about it, waiting for a long time for an Uber, having some preset fares so that you know how much that you're going to pay. So they're probably the biggest things, and being able to call back your preferred driver if you want them to. So in the old days, you had to have them give you a card with their phone number on it, and if you wanted to use them again, you could give them a call, and if they are available, they'd come and get you. In this way, you can actually book via their app now. You can book the driver that you like. The fares are predetermined, all that kind of stuff. So they have effectively been forced to copy back what Uber has done. So what are your competitors doing that you're not, that you should be, to enhance your services? The next point is around technology. I think from time to time we've all got to have a look at what technology is out there, and sometimes that comes to light when you have a look at what your competitors are doing, or when you have a look at what is the better customer experience for people. One of the things, for instance, that is very popular is your booking schedule. Now, I don't allow my clients to go online and book time in with me for training sessions, mainly because my days are so full and they can change from time to time. And because of the premium service I offer, if I do have some people that need to shift their sessions from time to time, I allow a little bit of flexibility in there to do that. But the technology that I am looking forward to is more like your Google Assistant that can automatically say, call the day's bookings or the day before, and just it's normally the day I find with me and my team, because things happen on a day that can impact somebody, whether we're going to do a coaching session or not. So to have them confirm, say in the morning of the day that they're to come and do their sessions, just have the technology confirm. You say, well, you can do that via text and stuff, but I mean actually have the Google Assistant call the person and say, oh hi, it's Siri, if you like, from Studio's Personal Training, for instance. We're just confirming that you're right for your booking today at this time. And if they aren't, then having a look in the schedule and say, okay, well, can you do this time? And having that conversation and just getting the schedule automatically updated. Now, that technology hasn't been released fully yet, but it's not too far away. That to me is a huge opportunity for us to provide an extra level of customer service for people. But what else is out there? You know, what else is out there that you aren't using right now that you could be? Again, I look back to, say, when I first started training myself, you'd write everything down in an exercise book. Now, the app, I use the most powerful app in the world in this space at the moment, and it's fantastic. I think it's got 6,500 exercises in it. I can create programs, I can send them to clients, I can track myself, I can track their workouts. It's fantastic. You can track everything in it. It's really, really powerful. Really love it. That didn't exist. Back in 1988, the internet didn't exist in my house back in 1988. So there are opportunities there, and it's only by standing back and looking and saying, well, okay, maybe this technology doesn't exist in the way that you want to use it right now, but what else does, so that you can enhance the customer experience? What are your competitors doing? What exists out there that you think, yeah, actually no one's using it this way, maybe I could do that. And the last one is around coaching. You've got to have coaching in the areas where you want to grow, because you can become so complacent that you just don't keep moving forward. And you say, well, no, what I'm doing is working fine. It's just working really well the way I'm doing it, so I'm not going to change it. But unless you have coaching, you may be having things that are opportunities for you just sitting right under your nose, but you're not taking them because you're not getting the coach that points out, have you tried this? Have you done that? Keeping on pushing you to that next level, pushing you on enhancing the customer experience. They could guide you, just like I said now, and they say, oh, well, yeah, look, I've got some issues in the area of my customer service, customer experience. And you say, look, go read this book. You need to do this. Here are some key things that you can be doing to enhance your customer experience from what you're doing right now. Spending some time with the coach to say, okay, tell me all the things that you're doing to provide exceptional customer service right now. Do you feel confident that your customers are saying you provide exceptional customer service? And you say, oh yeah, I do. I'm really passionate about my clients. Okay, well maybe one of the gaps there is that you're not currently getting any testimonials saying that you provide exceptional customer service. And when you do seek the feedback, maybe it's not quite so exceptional. Maybe it's just good. I find that whenever I get any feedback from clients, from questionnaires and so forth that I get them to fill out, I'm often surprised at what they really love. And every now and then, there'll be a really great suggestion. So I'll give you this one, for instance. So during the pandemic, I was picking up people from all over the place, not just locally, picking them up from interstate, internationally. And I have this automated sequence, then I think it's about week 5, something like that, or week 3, where I asked them for some feedback. And the feedback I got from this particular lady, she was based up in Brisbane, and she said, oh, it would be nice to be introduced to each person, even though we're via Zoom, to be introduced. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? I get so busy at providing a service in terms of delivering a session to people that sometimes you can forget some of the detail. And I thought, actually, that's a really good idea. So the very next session, what I did was I got new people to tell a little bit about themselves and just to introduce each person so that everybody got to know each other. And now, when new people come on board, I automatically do that. And it creates a real community. So most people have their microphones on and not on mute. And so they're having conversations between each other. You know, finding out, oh, how's the Gold Coast? You know, what's going on up there? It's freezing down here. You know, all of that kind of stuff. So we're becoming, I suppose, more connected even though we're not in the one physical space. And sometimes I forget that we're not even in the one space because you're just connecting with people. Again, Zoom didn't exist in 1988. I don't know when Skype was invented, but you know, the way that we deliver a service now is just really, really different. And I know that there are opportunities for all of us and we only find them if we put this at the forefront of our mind. So this is something that you need to do. It's something that I need to do. It's to review your current landscape and see what's that customer experience like? How do we enhance it? I think the key is to never be complacent, always looking for how do we enhance our customers' experience? What are our competitors doing? And what are the great things that they're doing that you can learn from them? It's not about being jealous. It's not about feeling like you're a failure compared to your competitor. It's about learning from them to see how can you enhance your customer experience. What's the technology that you are using right now? What's the technology that you could be using? What are your competitors using? Again, all from the perspective enhancing the customer experience. I'll tell you, just pausing on that for a moment, the technology, an area where I've seen this not really work so well as again in the health and fitness industry. Years ago, they started up this new concept. I won't say the brand name here. I don't even know whether it still exists. I don't think it does. But the idea was they put these little gyms in probably, I'll say 100 square metre floor space, and they put a series of machines all around, I'm just going to say all around the outside. Imagine if the room was square, the machines were set up in a square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 10, say something like that. Each one of them had a timer on them, and they'd set the timers for like 2 minutes, and once or a minute, or 30 seconds, whatever it was. Once your time was done, you went from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 to 4. And it was designed around a 20-minute workout. It was designed to get overweight people in a workout in 20 minutes on these machines and out. Now, it fell over. So what does that system fundamentally lack? Customer service. It's just that anyone can go into and just use the machine and push a timer and be done with it. I mean, there's nothing in that for anyone. So I saw that one as a failure, and as I say, I don't know that any of those gym setups exist anymore. But at the time, they thought, wow, this is great technology to be using, a timer on this piece of equipment. Let's go for it. And the last one being coaching, making sure that you do get that coaching in the area that you need. Get the right coach for you in the area that you want to grow. So if you want to connect with me, you can go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. Let's review your landscape. Let's make 2021 your best year yet. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.